That's perfect.
All right, so here we go. All right, so when you're writing up an offer, I'm going to use Form Simplicity. You can use Form Simplicity or Transaction Desk. Okay. Well, maybe in your area you could always use Form Simplicity, but typically Form Simplicity and Transaction Desk. Your MLS is going to look a little bit different than my MLS, but for the most part, they're similar. Okay. So it's easier if you find the property. I doubt it's in my MLS as well, but give me the property address, would you, Alexia?
I'm sorry, what was that, Jeremy?
Give me the property address, please.
1 second.
Sure.
It is 3894 Southeast 12th Drive,
12th Drive.
Okeechobee. Okeechobee, Florida.
Oh, look at that. Looky. That's the one, right?
Yep, that's it.
Beautiful. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to, whichever you prefer, Form Simplicity or Transaction Desk, which I'm not seeing here. Oh, it's right there. Duh. Okay, so Form Simplicity or Transaction Desk. For this purpose, I'm going to use Form Simplicity because that's the one I use the most. And what type of pre-approval is this? Is this an FHA, conventional, VA?
USDA.
USDA. Ooh, I love it. All right. So you want to confirm the details, 4 bed, 2 bath. Now it should automatically put this stuff in here, okay? But sometimes the legal description isn't right or something, right? So let's look at this. Okay, revise an addition to the plot of Corners Gables, plot book 3, page 15, lot and block 1716. Okay, so let's go back, look at this, look at the tax. Okay, so we're looking at the legal description. We just want to confirm that the information is correct. Okay.
Yeah, that's the legal description that I found when I was going through everything on myself. I'm like, am I supposed to put all of this on there?
Well, that's a lot, and that's probably not all going to fit in there. Okay.
Like,
Okay. So in that particular case, I'd probably write up a separate addendum for legal description, you know, like, or, ooh, this is another thing that you could do. Copy this, right? We'll come back to that. But we want to go through and just confirm all the information, right? The listing agent, okay. Purchase price, what do they want to offer?
275.
275. Sweetheart deal. No negotiation necessary.
Go straight to the point. Love it.
Okay, you put in your buyer's contact information, email address, this and that. It'll make things easier when you go to have them sign.
Okay.
Okay, I'm writing this under my wife's thing, so that's why her information is there. Save to transaction. So do same as address, it'll plug it out in there for you. This is residential and it's a purchase. Okay, so street, it's got the address. Transaction name is going to be the same as the address. Property type is residential. Transaction type is purchase. Save to new transaction. Okay, now we get into the fun stuff. So down here, add blank forms. And you wait for your computer to catch up. Let me close out some of these extra windows I don't need open right now. Still not working. So if it doesn't work when you do the drop down there, I sometimes close it out. I go back into it. Still nothing. Oh, wow. Look at that, huh? Let me turn off my video for myself. You can still see my screen though, right? Alexia?
I'm sorry, Jeremy. I didn't know you couldn't see me on the screen, but yes, I was giving thumbs up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I minimized you. Let's see. There we go. I got you back. Okay. So add blank forms. Okay, it's gonna work now. Yay. Okay, as is search. So it already did the search. So as is contract. That's sometimes in the listing. And let's look at the listing real quick. Sometimes in the listing, it'll tell you what contract they want you to use. For the most part, assume that it's the as is contract until told differently. Some older school agents prefer the crisp. Okay. Owner occupied. So realtor remarks is typically where that comment is of which one to use. Okay. Owner occupied, showings 8 to 6. There is a dog, blah, blah, blah. Please be careful. So it doesn't say anything about anything. Okay. So it couldn't hurt to call up Teresa and be like, hey, I was going to write up an offer because this is already a problem. All right. Typically, there's little paper clips up here that show attachments. Now, there might not be any attachments, but because this home doesn't have lead-based paint, because it was built in 2006, right? Looks like there is an HOA, right? It's $100 per year. So there's some kind of HOA disclosure that's necessary, right? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah. Okay, cool. There is some kind of HOA that's necessary. Okay. And oh wait, look at that legal description. Look at that bad boy. Bam. Okay. I'll show you where we can put that in a minute. Excuse me. But then seller's disclosure. So at a minimum, you need a seller's disclosure, okay, which is not required by the state of Florida or whatnot. So if they choose not to fill one out, okay, you don't need it. But you will need an HOA disclosure. Okay. So I would write that down, send that to the listing agent, say, hey, I need these, send them to me. Okay. Normally it fills in the seller's name, but this time it did not. Okay, let me show you real quick for the full, I would say something for the full legal description. Oh, yeah, okay. Let's see if autocorrect will fix this for me here. Description, is that right? Description, no. Descript, wow. So it's harder when people are watching. For the full legal description, please see paragraph 20. Okay. Okay. And just so I don't forget, I'm gonna go ahead and put it down in paragraph 20. So USDA, they know about closing costs? You educated them about closing costs already?
Yes, so this particular client, she is getting down payment assistance as so she doesn't have to put any money down, and then she's getting $10,000 towards her closing costs. So she literally has to come to the table with nothing except for the Earnest money deposit.
And you've checked with the lender, this property is okay for USDA?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so paragraph 20. This is where I would put the legal description.
Okay.
Okay. Because obviously it's too big to put up there. Right? You need to put it somewhere so everybody understands. I wouldn't do an addendum right off the bat, even though that's what I suggested first off, but this is with the offer. So, and then I put like full legal description is as follows. Okay. Good. You can also hit the space bar if you're on mute. And if you hold down the space bar, it'll unmute for that amount that you want to talk, and then you let it go and it unmutes. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I Zoom all day, so I know a lot of tricks.
Oh, never mind. You're a Miss Zooming professional. My bad. Okay, so then seller's name. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna grab. It looks like it's Cheryl and Lloyd. Sometimes at the bottom, it's got both their names combined. Nope, just kidding. That's unrealistic. Just kidding. So I'm gonna make it look ugly. I'll make it look pretty. So that's not the buyer, that's the seller. Okay. So okay, good so far. Buyer's
Yeah.
name. You keep your buyer's name to yourself. This is being recorded. I'm just gonna say Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. Julio?
Yeah.
Okay. So then street name right there. This is auto-filled from the MLS, but it couldn't hurt just to go back and look at it and go, okay, yep, that looks right. Okay. And then we all already know the legal description, this right here, double check, county, Okeechobee. Again, all those things autofill. So this right up here. Okay, so this is the personal property box right here. Okay, so it's saying all these things are included: refrigerator, range, oven, dishwasher, disposal, ceiling fans, light fixtures, drapery, rods, draperies, blinds, window treatments, smoke detectors, garage door openers, thermostats, so on and so forth. That's what's already included. Okay. Anytime I write up an offer, I go over here. I look right here. You see where it says appliances? Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes.
No, I'm watching you now. I got you on the screen. It's okay. So where it says appliances, I grab it, I come back over here, paste. Now, I've had some really super duper picky agents, which this is how it should be, go, well, you've listed the range, the refrigerator, and the dishwasher twice, because it's already right here. Okay, so I just check and make sure, okay, it's right there. Yep, okay. So your clients know then the microwave, if there is one, and the washer and dryer is not included. Okay. So I just put it like that. Is there a microwave and a washer and dryer in the house?
Yes.
Okay, so they're planning on taking that with. So obviously dishwasher and dryer, not going to be part of the sale. You can try to sneak it in there.
And see if they catch it.
I never try to like sneak stuff in there.
Right. No, I'm just joking.
If I put it in there, I'll just say, hey, I just want to let you know I put this in here. I didn't know if it just wasn't on the listing because they weren't thinking about it. But I want to see a good picture of the kitchen. Good God, what a bunch of useless photos. Okay. So the microwave, I mean, that makes sense. It's not attached, right? If it was up here above the stove, I would expect it to be included. It's just attached to the property, right? But this one's not included. So anyway, and then what's excluded from the sale? Again, I'm looking at the realtor remarks. Sometimes they got pear trees, they got, oh, the dining room light fixture is my aunt's favorite dining room light. They want me to give that to them when they, okay, fine. So in this particular one, there is nothing excluded. So down here, E is the exclusion, what doesn't come with the property, right? These are the inclusions besides this stuff, all the personal property plus, hypothetically, this is where you'd put the washer, the dryer, and the microwave. Cool. But in this one, we're just gonna do NA. Okay. All right. Purchase price $275. It's already in there. Initial deposit. How much they want to put down? Don't say nothing. That's not an answer.
Let's go with 1,000.
All right. Winner, tofu dinner. Now, what I typically recommend to anybody is 1% of the purchase price. So $2,750, $3,000, $2,500, $2,000, something like that. This may or may not get accepted because of that. Okay. I understand the person's USDA. I understand the person also has down payment assistance. But if I'm the listing agent, I'm going, you ain't got no skin in the game, man. Right? I want you to have skin in the game because otherwise you're just going to walk away if something goes wrong. Right? This is just for hypothetical, but I'm just letting you know. There's a difference between writing up an offer and writing up a strong offer. Okay? All right. So anyway,
Understood.
I always recommend 1%, but if that's all they got, that's all they got. Right? Okay. I never check this box. I always check this box, number 2. Okay, is made with 3 days. And if you don't check 3 days, it's automatically 3 days. So you could just check that box and leave it alone. But I don't like there to be blanks. Okay. All right, we go back over here. Now we need, I skipped ahead because I knew what was coming next. Now we need to know this portion right here, making a mess. There we go, right over here. Escrow agent information, title company. Okay, now they were glorious enough to not fill out any of this stuff. You know your area better than I. Typically in the South area, Miami, Broward, Dade County, and stuff like that, the buyer agent picks, but the seller still pays. In my area, if the buyer picks, then the buyer pays. Okay. So at this point, I'd be texting the listing agent, hey, are you guys picking the title company or are we picking the title company?
But again, you said either way it goes, the seller still pays.
That's normally what it is. But you know, you just gotta double check, right? Because each area is a little bit different. I know how it works in my area. I don't necessarily know how it works in your area. So I'll just
Gotcha.
text the listing agent, right? Where's the disclosures? Also, do you have a preferred title company? I got one if not. I personally always use our smart partner, Consumer Title. Well, I always do that. Consumer Title and Escrow Services. Spare the time and details of just plugging it in, and I'll put in whatever pops up here. Okay. Then typically fax number is no, nobody has a fax number anymore. So I just put in NA, right? Don't leave any blanks. Additional deposit. So let's say you would use this part after somebody goes, okay, you know what? I'll give 1,000. And then after the home inspection, I'll put another 1,000 down. Okay. So maybe we do 15 days after the effective date, we'll do another $1,000. Okay. Normally, this is NA for me and 0. Okay, that's what I normally put. But if you wanted to maybe give a smaller deposit and then a bigger deposit after they're sure the home inspection's done, everything's going smooth, then we'll do a bigger deposit. That's a good, effective way to write a strong offer. Okay. Then down here, financing expressed as a amount, dollar amount or percentage. So if you put in 100%, it'll do the auto calculation for you, or you can put in the dollar amount. Okay. Then other, I don't even know what you'd put here. I just always put NA and then I put 0. Any questions so far?
Nope. Let's go.
All right. All right.
No.
So they're at very good. Thank you, Miriam. They're at negative $1,000 needs to be brought to closing. Must be nice. Just kidding. All right. So next, time is up. This is how much time they have to accept the offer. Okay, which can't end on a weekend, right? Most contract dates, not most, pretty much all contract dates cannot end on a weekend or a holiday. It's got to end on a business day. So if this were Saturday and I was saying, oh, we're going to give them until Saturday to accept it, automatically defaults until Monday. Okay. But obviously it's Tuesday. I typically give them like 2 or 3 days to accept, sign, get it back to me. Okay. Maybe you don't want to wait that long because you're going in with full price offer. But I'd say as a courtesy, 2 to 3 days minimum. All right, that's a lucky day right there. 9/22/22. Lucky. Right? Closing date. Let's talk about that next. Closing date, I typically give 30 days from the date of acceptance. So in this particular case, I would do October 22nd, as long as that's not a week. Oh no, it's a weekend. Okay, so either I never like closing on a Friday, and I never like closing on a Monday. Okay, it's a hot mess express. So I'd say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, because ultimately what happens if you close on a Friday, for some reason, it's a dry closing, which means the funds don't get dispersed, which means they don't get possession. They're hoping to have that house to move in on the weekend. And guess what? They're not going to get it. And they're only going to take it out on you because you're the only person there. All right. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's my recommendation. You do what you want. But that's what I would do in this situation. Okay. All right. So I'm going to skip past all the stuff that's just auto filled in, that's boilerplate stuff. But what I do look for is the asterisks. Asterisks, which typically is an indication of I need to fill out something. Okay. Occupancy or possession. This is not for post-closing possession. Okay. This is for like a lease. Okay.
Tenant still living there.
Yep. There you go. You go, girl. Okay, check box if the property is subject to lease. Okay, there we go. All right, notice a little asterisk. I don't know why there's a little asterisk here. Wait, maybe this is blocking something. No, because there's nothing to fill out there. Typically, the asterisk is a sign of there's something to fill out. Okay, assignability. Never check this one. You could check this one if they're going to put it into an LLC or something later. But if it's a standard regular purchase and they're buying it for themselves, I always check that one. Okay, financing expresses a dollar amount. So if it's cash, which is not, it's USDA, we're going to select this one. Okay, when's it going to close? We'll say 30 days from the effective date. Okay, buyer is obtaining approved. So conventional, nope. FHA, nope. VA, nope. Other, USDA. We have the meats. Okay. So this is the only one really I'm going to recommend that you don't put anything in. You know me, I've been saying it constantly since we started that don't leave anything blank. Okay. But this one, I'm going to recommend you do leave something blank because what we want is the prevailing rate. Okay. And it says if left blank, then prevailing rate based upon buyer's credit worthiness for 30 years. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that blank because then it's automatically the prevailing rate. Okay, buyers shall make application within 5 days. Okay, they probably already made application. Hopefully they have. If not, they're going to make it at five days after the effective date. Okay. Okay, moving on. Again, looking for the asterisks. I see 2 over here, but I never ever check these boxes. 132, 133. Just always leave them blank. Right. If you want the longer explanation, I'll send you the 4-hour version that you can see where every single line is broken down. But I'm just giving you how to fill out the blanks. Okay. right here, put an NA. Right down here.
Question, does HomeSmart charge any type of processing fee?
Nope, it's just your normal $350 transaction fee.
Okay. And that's separate from what's taken out from the commission, right?
You get 100% of the commission, right? You're on the A plan, or are you on a different plan?
Don't make me lie to you, Jeremy.
Okay, so if you're on the 100% plan, are you on the 100% plan?
I think so.
Okay, so the 100% plan is you get 100% of your commission. Okay, HomeSmart, your very first transaction takes $245 for a risk reduction, $300 for the transaction, and $50 for the ongoing risk reduction. Okay, but your initial fee, your initial transaction, the first one of the year, and it's based off your anniversary date, not when you got hired or anything like that. So your very first one of the year is an additional $245 for additional risk reduction. They don't call it E&O insurance, but that's what I would call it.
Okay, just making sure it's nothing that I have to write up in the actual contract about any fees or anything, but that comes out of my commission.
Well, some people, including myself, will write in buyer to pay HomeSmart fee of $350 for transaction. Barely fits. Look at that. Okay. Then they're paying your transaction fee, and all you have to pay is the $245 once per year. And then you're truly getting 100%.
Gotcha.
Okay. Title evidence, I just leave it alone. It is what it is. Put in 15 days, and it just matches up here. See that right there? Okay, scrolling on down. 168. This is who's paying for closing. Okay. So I check the box. Seller should designate closing company, right? And pay for their own homeowners, or not homeowners, title insurance. Okay. Down here, Miami-Dade, Broward regional provision. Buyer, is this is not in, hold on, let me check the county. No, it's in Okeechobee or whatever.
No, it's Okeechobee County. Yeah.
Okay. So I would say this would work like a regular thing. The seller, the listing agent, is going to tell you what the title company is, and that's what you're going to fill in there. Okay. Because this is the way it works everywhere else. This is the way it works everywhere else on line 168. You check the box. The seller designates the closing agent. Box 2, the buyer designates the closing agent and will pay for the owner's policy. That's going to cost the buyer more money. Okay. So I always select this as a buyer's agent, and I let them pick the title company. Okay. It's not always great. It's not always a great experience, but at the end of the day, it's saving my client more money. You know. Ooh, those are fancy. Okay. And then you're not going to select anything here or anything here. I just put in a 0 just to not have any blanks. Survey, home warranty. Okay, line 184. Unless I'll bring up the home warranty to them. I'll be like, hey, do you guys want a home warranty? Yes, no, maybe so. You know, maybe they're waiting. They're normally, unless I specifically talk to them about it, I just put NA. Put NA here, and then 0 here. Okay, moving on down, special assessment. Okay, so this is not, okay, so look here. See, public body does not include a condo or HOA assessment, special assessment, okay? This is only for an SSA that's been added to the taxes, okay? So that's what this applies to, okay? So for the most part, it's box A. Like for instance, my wife and I just bought a home in Groveland. All of this community has an SSA because the clubhouse had to be built, the roads had to be put in, this and that and the other thing. And typically it's like 20 to 25 years. Okay. Something like that transfers onto the taxes, maybe adds another $1,000, $1,500 per year. It's not the end of the world. It's okay. Right. Some investors will be like, hey, I don't want your SSA. That's a you problem. Okay. So you pay it off at closing. Okay. So normally it's box A. That means the buyer will continue to pay installments after the closing. Right here, the seller will pay it in full. Don't worry about it unless it's got an SSA, but typically it's A. Okay. I had a listing agent fight back and forth with me, and I'm like, well, does the property have an SSA? And he's like, no. And I'm like, so what are we talking about here? Because they wanted B checked. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So moving on, disclosures. Again, I'm going to zoom past everything that doesn't have an asterisk, but I do want to point this out because I feel like a lot of people miss this. Energy brochure. Okay, this property is not old enough to have lead-based paint, so I'm not worried about like the other stuff. But even look at this. It has an HOA. Look in what's in big, bold, capital print, right? Homeowners Association / community disclosure. Buyers should not execute this contract until the buyer has received and read the Homeowners Association community disclosure, if applicable. We don't have it. It's not attached to the listing. We can't see it, right? So you should really reach out and get that before they sign
I
this.
have it.
You have it. Now you tell me. Okay, cool. I put 20 right here. Right, that's just the flood cert saying that they're going to get the evaluation of the flood certification 20 days prior to 20 days after the effective date. That's what it is. Yeah, right here, 20 days. If left blank, 20 days after the effective date, the buyer shall be refunded the deposit, thereby releasing them from any further if it's in a flood zone and they need flood insurance. Okay. All right, zooming past all this. Oh, I just want to make sure that's clear. You have to send the energy brochure to everyone. See that E? Buyer acknowledges receipt of Florida energy efficiency rating information, blah, 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 required by section 553996 FS. Okay. Now, where do you find it? I know that's what you're thinking. You just go to your forms, you type in energy brochure, and poof, it pops right up. There's really nothing for them to sign, execute. But if you get in the habit of just sending it over with the offer, that's a good habit to be in. Okay, foreign investors, seller's disclosure, blah, 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 blah. Okay, again, we're worried about the asterisks here. You should read and understand every paragraph, but we're worried about the asterisks. 261. This is how long is your inspection, your due diligence period. Okay. The default is 15 days. I don't know if you remember like Old English, the Old English class, they say a fortnight. That's 15 days, right? So I'm like, that's a whole fortnight. Good golly. So anyway, I typically say 7 or 10. Okay. If they want a little bit more time than 10, it's a week and a half. Like it's a week and a half. Like who needs 2 weeks in a day to do an inspection? That's crazy. Maybe if we're like super busy and things are backed up, but even like during hot COVID market, I was doing 7 days. I was doing 3 days. Just hurry up and get your inspector in there. If they can't get in there, then do an extension of the due diligence or inspection period. All right. So keep it on moving, keep it on moving. Default, dispute resolution, attorney fees, standards. I'm looking for the asterisks. I'm looking for the asterisks on the side. Also looking for blanks, to be honest. Conveyance, closing documents, procedure, escrow, credits. 1031 exchange. PERTA. Okay, here we go. We go to the fun part here. So B has to be checked because you have an HOA addendum, right? Okay. Okay, appraisal contingency, because there is no USDA special addendum that we have. We're just
that
gonna,
was one of my questions.
yeah, we're gonna check the F appraisal contingency box. Okay, we got HOA, we got appraisal contingency. Is there anything else? Are you related to any people in this transaction?
No.
No. If you were, you select the AA licensee property interest addendum. Okay, that
Okay.
it's a very simple addendum. It basically says, "Yep, I acknowledge that I am, related to. I am the sister, brother, cousin of the buyer, of the seller, of the whatever." Right? Okay. So let's uncheck that. It doesn't have lead-based paint, so we don't need that. But I do understand that this is a backup offer, correct?
Correct.
So we're going to select W backup offer contract. Okay. So we scrolly down. That's the full legal description.
And then I guess just one more question on that last section. You said the appraisal contingency, that's just USDA only, or like is it any other time where that needs to be
Conventional.
checked?
You would use that for conventional USDA. You see FHA and VA is E.
Right. Okay.
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 Via USDA and conventional would be appraisal contingency. Okay. And then that's pretty much it. So you're going to hit save. Make sure your name is right down here. Make sure the other agent's name is right down here. You hit save. Okay. Then you go back out to the transaction. Then you need to add a couple of things, right? You need to add the appraisal contingency and the backup offer addendum. Think so? Yeah, double check. If not, we just run out there. Thought he did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Okay, sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, so now we need the appraisal. We search for that. Okay, there's two different documents that came up. Which one should we use?
The first one,
Why is that?
because it says appraisal contingency, and the other one is appraisal addendum, and then also I'm looking at the type, Florida Realtors.
Well, the type doesn't so much matter, but this is for the crisp contract, which we're not filling out. We're filling out the as is, which is
Gotcha.
6. Okay, so and notice the letters that line up. When we were talking about them, I was like, you got to use the F appraisal contingency, right? This one is a B appraisal addendum. Okay, very, very simple addendum to fill out. Okay, so we scroll down. This is what should happen, right? The seller's names come over, the buyer's names are right there. Okay. Okay, just set it up. I'll run out there right now and go do it. Or we'll get Aaron over there. Okay, I always put 3 days prior to closing. Okay. 3 days prior to closing. Okay, yay. I've never had an appraisal come in 10 days prior to closing. So what happens if you mess this up? You could potentially lose your client's earnest money. Because if you just leave it blank and leave it at 10 days prior to closing and your financial contingency expires in 30 days, well, 10 days from the effective date is 20 days after the effective date, right? So if you don't have your appraisal back and done within 20 days, and it comes in after the fact, it's 25 days or something like that, then it's like, wait a minute. It didn't appraise. Now what? Well, this is already up. So unless the property is going to fall apart from the financing falling apart, then you're going to lose your client's earnest money for them. Okay, so 3 days prior to closing, and track that, put it into a calendar when it gets executed. Okay. All right, down here, purchase price. You can put in purchase price, you're offering list price, so just put it in there. If you're offering something less and you might go back and forth, I might leave that blank. If you're doing an escalation addendum, I might leave that blank as well. Okay, last thing, backup offer. Make sure you save your work, right? Now, less is more. See how I typed in backup offer and it said, nope, nothing. Let's just try back. All right, backup contract. Ooh, we got another one here. Backup kickout addendum. And then we got this one, addendum to vacant land. Oh, we're not doing vacant land. So which one do I pick? Top, middle, or bottom?
The one that corresponds with the number from the contract.
Okay, which one's that?
I think it's the second one.
Yeah. Okay. So if you, yes, you're absolutely right. If you look at the as is contract, the bottom left-hand corner, it says CR-6. That means all the CR-6 have to go along with it. Okay. And it also says if you're in paragraph 19, excuse me, if you're in paragraph 19 on page 11 of the as is contract, it says W, backup offer. Okay. So this one here, I haven't filled out a ton. So let's see. The backup contract is subject to termination of the prior executed contract between the seller and third party for sale of the property. If the prior executed contract is terminated and the seller delivers written notice to the buyer on or before X date, this contract shall be removed and the back on the contract shall move into the first position. The effective date of the backup contract. So what do we put there? Okay. Now, you've communicated with the listing agent, right? You know that you're going to be a backup offer. So when is their potential closing date? Has they shared that with you?
No.
Okay. So let's say, I mean, you can put whatever you want here. You can make it 2 weeks, you can make 3 weeks, you can, however long your buyers want to wait.
Okay.
Okay. So normally I would do like a month, right? There, or like it's, sorry. In October.
And that's a month from what date? What's the?
Well, chances are if they got a property under contract right now and it's September 6th, right? It's still showing active in the MLS. So they're probably waiting for earnest money. That's what a lot of agents do, right? So then I would do like October 6th.
Okay, so a month from today.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. And that's the only thing to fill out on that page. Just how long is this backup contract good for? Okay. And then we save it. We add it. So there are 3 things that you need to know when you're writing up an offer. Okay. At a minimum, 3 things. So can you tell me what those 3 things are?
Well, I'm sorry, can you repeat that question, Jeremy?
There are 3 things that you need to know when writing up an offer for a client, for a buyer. Do you know what those 3 things are?
No.
Okay. Dude, just set it up for me, okay? All right, I got you. Okay. So those 3 things are purchase price, earnest money, and closing date. Purchase price, earnest money, and closing date. Okay. Date of acceptance, 2 to 3 days, you know, that sort of thing. Okay. Now, I made this one extremely long because somehow I got twisted on my dates, right? I normally wouldn't do a month and a half, right? I would do 32, 33 days or so from the date of acceptance, okay? So the date of acceptance here, for some reason I put in September 22, okay? So it is September 6th today, so I'd probably do September 8th, okay? All right, and then closing date here, I'd probably put October, not 8th, right? Because that's a Saturday, and I don't want to do Monday or Friday, so I'd probably do the 11th, okay? All right, so what are the 3 things you need to know to write up an offer?
Purchase price, earnest money, and closing date.
Beautiful. Okay. Make sure those boxes are checked now. Let's go ahead and save, and then I'll show you how to sign it real quick. Okay. So you select all the documents you want to send over. If you have the HOA addendum, you select that down here because you have to add it. You have to upload the file. Okay. You select this box.
The HO, I'm not able to search it in the form, how we just did like the appraisal contingency and the backup contract
Nope,
document.
because it's already going to be filled out from the listing agent.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? So seller's disclosure 2, you would upload, put in here, right? And then you go over here, e-sign. You select the parties that are going to sign. I'm just putting in everybody for now. Okay. They came out with a e-sign 2.0 session, so that's very interesting. It's a little bit quicker actually.
So just to be sure I understand, as far as the seller disclosure goes with every contract, right?
The seller's disclosure goes with everything, but sometimes you are required as a HomeSmart agent, you are required to have one if it's your listing. You're not required to have one if it's not your listing. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm required to have it if I'm writing up an offer for a buyer, though, right? To attach it to my.
You're not.
But I
You're
get
not
it from
required.
The listing agent.
Right. You're not required if the listing agent didn't have them fill out a seller's disclosure. Okay. And I'm just going to put in. I'm representing the buyer, so I'm just going to put in these 2 people for buyers. Okay. I think that's the listing agent and the listing broker. So you hit next. It's going to say, hey, there's some locations here that are assigned, like the sellers, that aren't assigned anything. And you say, do you want to remove those from the template? So you say yes. Okay, signing session, name it something, right? So offer for 3894 Southeast 12th Drive. Okay, include me as a signer, right? There's all these different reminders. I like this. That way, if they don't sign after 1 day, it sends it to them again. It sends it to them again every day until they sign. Okay, you can even set up an expiration date. Like after a week, I don't care if they sign anymore. Right? Show signing groups, recipient order. So I think if you uncheck that, it'll send it to them all at the same time, which is what I want. Okay, to add another recipient type 3. Okay. Okay. And I haven't seen this before. So upload, go to cloud. This is a new thing. But these are all the documents they're going to sign. So then I hit next. Okay. And then I just scroll down and make sure. Oh, I think it's over the thing. So I just scroll down and make sure that the buyer and seller, or the buyer 1 and buyer 2, are in there like they should be. There they go. Yep, they're right there. Now this is automatic, so there's no way for them not to be there. Okay. But let's say You're like, you know what? I put this in after the fact, so let me, you really don't have to do this, but let me just put them in here. Okay. And I want this right here. Okay, they're gonna initial that they, acknowledge that that's the full legal disclosure, so, or description, so nobody is misunderstanding that. Okay, and if you were to have the HOA and the seller's disclosure in here, you'd have to manually add the initials and signature, okay? All right. And that's it, you just finish up signing. The next step here is just to send it off. You see that in the corner there, the little paper airplane?
Send it off to the signers. Okay.
Yep.
Right here.
And that's it. You
I
send
mean,
it
to the
off.
sellers.
Yeah. The buyers, right? In this particular case, you send it off to the signers or the buyers, right? So you hit send. You can even preview it and see what preview comes up. I haven't done this before. Okay. Email message. What's in the email message? That's it, huh? That's great. A little warm touch there. I love it. Okay. So that is it. Any questions?
Yes, I just want to make sure I'm understanding what the seller's disclosure and the homeowners is addendum.
Uh-huh.
I get that both of those from the listing agent to add to the contract.
Yes.
Okay. And then the question is, once we get the signed contract back from the sellers, which I can send it to them through this as well, right?
Uh-huh.
What's the next step as far as uploading into HomeSmart platform?
Once you get it fully executed, then you can send it over to TC at HS Move or TC at HomeSmart. They can upload it for you, or you can go directly into your RSA portal. Let me just show you real quick. Because my wife likes putting it in there herself, so she just does this herself. So you go to sales, because it's not a listing, right? Create a sale. And say, so you can put in the property address or the MLS number. You go back to the MLS, say, okay, here's the MLS number, copy, paste. Doesn't like the spaces there, I think. Just kidding. Okay, yep, that's the one. And then it's going to autofill some of the stuff, as you can see. If it's a newer listing and it just got listed in hours or something like that, and somehow magically you got it under contract, it might not be in here all the way. Okay, but double check the price, contract date. Well, they signed it Wednesday. Closing date. So we want that being October, I think we put down October 11th. Yeah, October 11th. So that's there. And then it's all lighting up here. And then side representation. So buyer, just ask you the questions, go through it, right?
Okay.
You add the listing agent and put it on the appropriate side. It's very easy to do.
Okay, but it's nice to know I can just email it over.
Yeah, it's a little more convenient. After you email, please hear my words. After you email it over, you have to go back in and check for mistakes. Normally, there's mistakes, okay? And then I hear people complaining, "Oh, well, there were mistakes." I'm like, "Did you check it?" They're like, "No." Okay, so you sent it over to TC. You never looked at the file ever again, and then you waited till closing, and now there's a mistake, and you need it fixed right this second. Yeah. Okay. Like, it's still your file. Just because you sent one email for someone to do 10 to 15 minutes worth of work for you, you still need to go in and check that it's right. Okay, there probably will be something wrong with it. You are intimately involved in the transaction. You know more about it. If there's a bonus, if the commission is this, if it's that, whatever. Like, they don't know. Okay, so it's up to you to double check it. Okay.
Okay. And then as far as it goes, let's say after I finish writing up a contract, is there anyone that I can send it to check it before sending it out for signatures?
Yeah, you can send it to myself or Freddie.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
I think we covered it all. Let me make sure because I had a little list.
All right. I
Yeah.
like lists.
Hey, Jeremy, I need to jump out of the meeting, but thank you so much, guys.
You're
That
welcome.
was
Thanks for
very helpful.
coming.
Have a good one, Miriam. Yeah, I think that's it. It was just the processing fee question, the USDA, if there was an addendum, the escrow question, which we covered, and then your point of contact. So yeah, I think we went through everything that I needed assistance with. And I definitely can't wait to get this video because I want to watch it again.
Okay, good stuff. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Most definitely. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
You as well. Bye-bye.